Hi all, I'm Azure. How are we feeling after that, guys? We have finally reached D23, and at the Disney Experiences Showcase and the Kingdom Hearts Deep Dive panel, we got our first look at our next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and our first Disney World revealed for Kingdom Hearts 4, and it is Coco. Yes, Coco is officially coming to Kingdom Hearts. The world that I said is the biggest lock for Kingdom Hearts 4 due to the themes it has is in. And even Nomura said this during the panel that it was a must to include. But there is so much to digest with this trailer, so let's just jump right into the analysis. The trailer begins with a scene of Hector playing a nice melody on his guitar for someone who is fading away from the world, and he speaks to Miguel about the final death, which is a concept in Coco of a person only truly dying when nobody has memories left of that person, once they have been forgotten. And this I feel is vitally important to Kingdom Hearts 4, as there could be a level of this happening with Sora in Quadratum. And also, I just want to say, with this scene, visually, amazing. This looks like it's been ripped straight out of the Coco movie, and I think that's amazing. The next scene we have is Miguel running out to the balcony to view the absolutely stunning vista that is the Land of the Dead. Really, this world looks incredible. They have performed some level of sorcery to be able to create such a beautiful skybox and a beautiful environment with, 60 frames per second. They have done some magic on this thing to make this work. This could be the first Unreal Engine 5 game that actually performs as intended. But that being said, we move on to the next scene where Miguel is singing Un Poco Loco, the iconic song from Coco, and you can see our son in the back here cheering him on. I clocked that immediately. This is leading me to believe that this could potentially be where we first meet Miguel and Hector as Sora, as it seems like Miguel and Hector's previous scene was them alone. Aside from the smaller crowd size, for, obvious reasons in a moment, this is almost identical to the movie, until we get our first sniff of that little Kingdom Hearts goodness as two Shadow Heartless appear, with Sora running towards them and killing them both before jumping on, presumably, to strike another Heartless. This is why the crowd size is so much smaller than the movie. Of course, this is about to become a battle arena for Sora, Miguel, and Hector, which we'll get into in a moment. And as we see Sora running up on them, we do get a look at our first costume design for Sora, but it's actually a little bit interesting, and I want to talk about this a little bit more. Sora here, you can see, has the same kind of skeletal makeup that Miguel has to blend in with the dead. However, notice that unlike Miguel, Sora isn't fading away, which is very interesting. He just has the skeletal makeup on to blend in. But the weird thing that I find with this is the fact that later on in the trailer, and I will talk about this, you do see Donald and Goofy appear in the Coco world with costume design, but their costume designs are more in line with what the Land of the Dead represents. They have the skeletal makeup, but they also have attire that, fits the world, whereas Sora only has the makeup. His outfit is still his Quadratum outfit. It doesn't have any kind of, Mexican traditional or Coco inspired gear. So I think potentially, even though I said that this could be the first place that Sora meets Miguel and Hector, he could still, like I said in my World List video, meet Miguel at the entrance, and he could also have that kind of makeshift skeletal makeup put on him as well as Miguel. So I think that would be really cool, but that was just a little bit of an observation that I wanted to make. Next, we get some very quick cuts of kind of a bombshell, honestly. It could be the Kingdom Hearts 4 Utada Hikaru opening, potentially. Or at the very least, this could be the intro cutscene for Kingdom Hearts 4, much like the pre-rendered cutscene of Scala ad Caelum, the CG cutscene, that we got at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3. But honestly, this more gives me the vibe of the Utada Hikaru opening, and that's kind of insane that they're showing snippets of this already. We first see the Master of Masters on that same hill that he was on in back cover, with the dandelions, of course, flying all around him. Sora and Strelitzia also stand on top of what many are saying is the Shibuya Sky building, which is in the Shibuya Scramble district, with Strelitzia saying,
"This is Quadratum."
a direct quote from the original Kingdom Hearts 4 2022 trailer. Of course, in English this time, which of course I didn't mention before. English trailer, guys. English trailer, let's go. I said it would be English, and it's English. We then cut to some Quadratum stuff with Sora and Strelitzia on their phones. Sora's phone, as you can see, has a little Mickey emblem where I assume his camera is going to be, and if you notice, hanging from it is a little Jiminy Cricket phone charm, which is really cute and a nice little nod to, Jiminy Cricket. This is probably going to be how Sora, accesses his journal and all, the menu stuff. Kind of similarly to how the gummy phone was used in Kingdom Hearts 3. Next, Sora says,
"They're asking for Dandelion Dispatch."
which is super, super interesting. Of course, we know Strelitzia herself is a dandelion, so it seems like, to me, Sigurd is continuing on Ephemer's legacy in Quadratum by having his own dandelions, collecting, Keyblade wielders who have wandered into or ended up in Quadratum, which I think is really cool. The fact that they're, bringing these concepts from the mobile games in so early is fantastic, and also, Dandelion Dispatch just sounds really cool. It's just like, it's almost like Spider-Man with his, phone alerts. It kind of feels like that. It's very, very superhero in a way. After this, we hear like a tannoy or some kind of announcement of a person saying,
"A dark tide has appeared near Shibuya Station."
Which is crazy because one, we have never really heard Heartless names ever really be said out loud like that. And two, this seems to be more of an announcement for the Quadratum Royal Army led by Yozora. As we hear this, we also see these Magitech-looking airships from the direct trailer flying overhead. So this is most likely the Yozora army response to this, and of course we have the Dandelion Dispatch. So we're having like two opposing forces going after this dark side. We then cut to the fight against the initial dark side from the 2022 trailer and the direct trailer, as it breaks out of like this barrier trying to contain it, and it sends these three massive balls of darkness out, destroying buildings, making explosions. I did point these, balls of darkness out in my original trailer analysis for the Nintendo Direct trailer. We then see a bus on some kind of bridge begin to collapse, and Sora, he's inside this bus, and he, like, leaps through the glass, and he has, like, a woman and a cat in his arm. Like, Sora is a superhero! He is literally a superhero in Kingdom Hearts 4. Is that not, like, the coolest thing ever? Of course he's going to be a superhero. This is Sora we're talking about. This is just, it's awesome. It's so cool. We then see the chaos begin to happen as we see the Quadratum shadows, the very humanoid looking shadows that almost look like Neo shadows, but they're not really, start to appear and manifest in front of people. And we get a cut to a scene of Sora, and now 100% confirmed to be Valley from Dark Road, with Sora shouting at Valley,
"Valley, behind you!"
with Sora running in presumably to protect them. We then cut to again an incredible vista with Sora, Miguel and Hector on the gondola within the Land of the Dead, heading down to the Plaza de la Cruz. And it's utterly breathtaking. It's so hard to believe that this is Kingdom Hearts 4. We are here, guys. This is it. This is real. The next scene we have is actually kind of insane for how simple it is. We see Sora standing in the shantytown and he summons the Coco Keyblade, which, by the way, looks fantastic. I absolutely love the design of it. But the reason this scene is potentially really insane is because in the past, the Kingdom Key is usually the Keyblade that's considered quote-unquote canon. We never usually see Sora's other keychains at any other point other than a small couple of exceptions, such as Starseeker in Kingdom Hearts 2 when he gets Valor form, and Shooting Star in Kingdom Hearts 3 during San Francisco. So this is potentially implying one of two things. One, you get the Keyblade for the world either at the start or partway through the world, or two, instead of the regular item get black screen, we now get a cutscene for obtaining the Keyblade. Either option is sick as hell, and it's absolutely worth remembering this. It really reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 1. During Kingdom Hearts 1, at the end of a world, you would get a small, cutscene of the character from that world giving Sora the keychain. You still get that item get thing, but the character actually has a cutscene giving Sora the keychain. So if they bring that back, that's really cool. It, makes the worlds feel more involved in the story. Even if it's just giving Sora a Keyblade, that's sick as hell. We then cut to some gameplay with Sora riding along the top of his Keyblade, with this massive bird-like Heartless attacking Sora. We also see that Sora is attached to this Heartless with the keychain whip, which is now seemingly confirmed to be part of Sora's toolkit. It's not just, a combat thing in the Kingdom Keys build commands, it is connected to this massive Heartless with wings, so I think it's now part of Sora's toolkit. I've seen a lot of people suggest that this Heartless could be some kind of spirit guide, which I could definitely see. We also see that in this trailer, and I assume probably every trailer going forward, there's more of a universal button prompt, so that they probably don't have to make multiple trailers for each console, which I think is absolutely fine. It makes sense to me. It means that they don't have to put extra work in for that. And I also do want to say that there was a lot of talk about whether this is a Heartless or not. It definitely is a Heartless. A lot of people thought that maybe this was like a Nightmare Dream Eater, but I can 100% confirm after going through this trailer frame by frame that this is a Heartless. As you can see just very barely that it does have an emblem on its chest. It's very hard to see it in motion, but it definitely is there. The next scene shows some combat in the square where Miguel sings Un Poco Loco, and immediately, right off the bat, it feels so weird that Donald and Goofy are not our party members here. There's this level of super melancholy that I feel, but honestly, that's fine. That's great. That's exactly what I, want to feel. We should feel the absence of those two greatly, but instead, we have Miguel and Hector as our party members. We see the return of Emblem Heartless with this horrendous run killer from Kingdom Hearts 3. We have the return of the Parasol Beauty, who in the critical mode for Kingdom Hearts 3 is pretty much the same as the Halo 2 Jackal Snipers on Legendary. They're a really rough time on critical mode. But we also have these new bird-like Heartless with these maracas, which look like really fun, really themed to the world designs. And I hope this is a trend that continues, because Kingdom Hearts 3 was criticised for having this lack of Heartless variety, and just using the same Heartless, but for a different world and reskinned. So hopefully they will have more variety here going forward. In this battle section, we see that Sora and Hector perform some kind of team attack as we briefly see it pop up on the command menu under the build meter called Piñata Magica. We see Sora and Hector dance around to the music, and the finish of the command, which has Hector throwing up a piñata, a heart-shaped piñata, and Sora slashing down on it and having it explode. The way these look very much remind me of Kingdom Hearts 2 Limits, so I wonder if that's potentially what they're going for with this scene. But while this is happening, we see at the top left of the screen, there is a bar that's filling up. I assume this will be to do with the battle itself. We see that there are people at the top of the bar, and there's a lot of civilians kind of around the battle. So I wonder if this is perhaps something like audience satisfaction. The better the battle goes, the more the bar fills, and the more the audience loves the show that Miguel is putting on, or something like that. This kind of thing is something they did a lot in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, but if you'll notice, when Sora and Hector are dancing, the bar fills up just a little bit, but when Sora performs the finishing move, the bar jumps up pretty big. So I do think it's definitely going to be something like that. One final little note from this clip is that if you look at the map, you can see the Moogle Shop icon, so that shows that they are, of course, returning. Next, we cut to Scala ad Kylum with our king or boy, it is Mickey. He says,
"This is a lot of new information. I bet I'll find a clue to saving Sora now."
And yeah, damn, this is a lot of new information, Mickey. You're absolutely correct. He is seemingly in the same library that he was in the May 2025 screenshots, which is very interesting. And something that I didn't notice originally in the haze of the moment is that Mickey has a brand new outfit, or well, kind of brand new. It looks like it's the same outfit. It just has a different colour scheme at the very least. So I'm super interested to see if they expand upon that. After this, we cut to our very first look at what Mickey will be doing, and oh my god, it is actually happening, guys. Puzzle elements are returning to Kingdom Hearts. I have been waiting 23 years for this to happen. With Kingdom Hearts 2 and beyond, puzzle elements aren't really something that they could have done, just due to the nature of the game's flow, but with these Mickey sections, they're really reminding me of Recoded. They do things that are very similar in Recoded, and they're now sprinkling it back into the numbered games, which is absolutely fantastic. We see Mickey get sucked into one of the books in Scala ad Kylum's shelves that has this hourglass symbol on it, so I wonder if that's going to have any kind of relevance or any importance. and we see that it's very Paper Mario-esque, as we see like a 2D Mickey moving around the walls, we see a big origami Mickey breaking down blocks. We also see that Mickey has these kind of icons on the side of his HUD, so that could potentially mean this is a resource to be managed, or just, you know, you have this many, like, let's say you have this many paper cutouts of Mickey to perform this puzzle. So either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this, because I absolutely love this. This is absolutely one of my highlights from this trailer. Next, we get an extended cutscene of Donald and Goofy, with Goofy asking Hades,
"When folks disappear above, is this where they always end up?"
and Hades replying,
But Sora isn't here.
What?
So we know that Sora isn't in the Olympus underworld, but I think they may possibly still drag someone else from the underworld, potentially, like an Ericus or a Baldur or someone to help. But after this scene, we get something that absolutely nobody saw coming. For the first time since the Days mission mode, we have playable Donald and Goofy. This is insane. Oh my god, Donald and Goofy are playable in Kingdom Hearts 4. We see them fighting and exploring in the Olympus underworld, which is amazing and incredible, and I can't not gush about it. We see them fighting in waves of Heartless, which is interesting. Wave 1 looks to just be shadows and soldiers at first. If you notice, you can also see Hades sitting on his throne in the background. So this is most likely a hey, beat my Heartless and I'll tell you how to get to Sora type deal. And let's look at their command menu for a second. Both have relatively the same command menu: attack, magic for Donald, skills for Goofy, items, and combat style. Magic for Donald is self-explanatory. Skills for Goofy, I think, will be him using special attacks that would normally be his abilities. You can also see that next to their health is a little button between them. This could potentially mean that they're planting the seeds of being able to switch party members on the fly, much like the Final Fantasy VII Re-Trilogy, which is very exciting for the potential future of this series. Combat style is very interesting because it's kind of vague. This could potentially mean they have different approaches, perhaps close range and long range maybe, or this could just be the manual button for switching between Donald and Goofy. One final thing to note about the HUD is that, of course, Donald has MP, magic points, whereas Goofy has SP, which I assume are skill points. They then use a limit team attack called Fusion Spin, which is actually something you can do with Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3. We finally get back to Quadratum with a scene of Sora, Strelitzia, and Valley. Sora sees a blue, almost Force Ghost-like vision of Donald and Goofy that for some reason Strelitzia and Valley can't see. Now this really reminds me of Dream Drop Distance, of all things. The reason I say that is because in Dream Drop Distance, when they're in Traverse Town, Sora and Riku, as well as the World Ends With You gang, can see each other on opposite sides of Traverse Town, because in Dream Drop Distance, Traverse Town is split into two parallel versions of the world. The weird part about this is that the Tui gang can actually still see the projections of the others, whereas Strelitzia and Valley cannot, which leads me to believe this could potentially be something to do with Sora's memory, rather than, you know, it being a split version of Quadratum or the Underworld or something like that. We also get a first listen to Valley and Strelitzia's voice actors, who both sound amazing and perfect, and I love them.
What?
Sora, is something wrong?
What can you see? Sora! Hey!
Another small detail to notice is that if you look at Sora's buttons on his jacket, interestingly, they now have the emblem for Scarlet Adkylum from Missing Link, which is a super interesting detail to note, as seemingly every character has some kind of emblem on them. Luxord has a phoenix on his buttons in the direct trailer, meaning that he's from a different faction, you know, Yuzora's faction. Sora then faints onto the ground as he is likely having some kind of memory relapse, as it smoothly cuts to a bit of a bombshell. Donald and Goofy, like I mentioned earlier, have somehow made their way to the world of Coco, which is incredible, but not in the way that some of you might think. I believe personally that they are essentially going to be chasing Sora down and just barely missing him each time. Kind of think of this how they were looking for Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1 in Traverse Town. They were just barely missing Sora as he was going through the districts, but they will, of course, eventually be able to reunite at some point, I'm sure. With the idea of Goofy and Donald being playable, we could be getting regular second visits for Kingdom Hearts again for the first time since Kingdom Hearts 2, which, with, Donald and Goofy going in alone, this could be a very interesting and unique way to revisit a world. Next, we get a very, very interesting scene in Miyashita Park as we see Xehanort with his umbrella, and we get to hear, for the first time in Kingdom Hearts 4, the incredibly dulcet tones of James Patrick Stewart returning as Xigbar, otherwise known as Lushu now, as he approaches him saying,
Oh! Here's a surprise. You're looking pretty good for an old coot.
This confirms to me personally that this is in fact Old Man Xehanort from the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Lushu seems to have clocked the fact that Xehanort has done some crazy shit to be able to continue to exist past his death, and I cannot wait to see how they explore more of this and to see Xehanort's reaction to this. Next, we get to the final big scene of the trailer, and it is an absolutely horrific scene as Sora, Strelitzia, and yes, now 100% confirmed to be Sigurd, facing down an onslaught of Heartless at night at the Shibuya Scramble, including count 'em, 3 of the new Neo Darksides, the ones that, slapped Sora around. Sora whacks away one of the Shadow Heartless, and then we see a very interesting sight. We see these knight-looking figures with spears and shields, and many have pointed out that this armor is actually 1-to-1 the same as the Crown's Guard from Final Fantasy 15, which is utterly insane. What the hell is Nomura planning? We also see an emblem on their pauldron, and it looks to be some sort of phoenix, which is, like I said, the exact same symbol as the one that was on Luxord's buttons, meaning that they are under the employ or the, lead of Yozora, the commander of the royal army of Quadratum, as it were. We then see this really scary demon bird Heartless. Oh my god, they have demons in Quadratum, alongside 2 of the new shadows, jumping at Strelitzia, who seems to be having trouble summoning her Keyblade fully. Like, you can see it's halfway manifesting, but with Keyblades, they kind of are like instantaneous manifests. So she's having some trouble here, and I do have a whole theory about this that I'm going to start working on once the dust has settled from the event and I've covered all of the news and such. We also see Sigurd pulling out a Keyblade, and it is called Light's Order, which is actually a Keyblade that you could use in Missing Link. This is the Keyblade that you can choose if you want to have a more magic-focused build. But weirdly, he takes up the stance of someone who chooses Fortune's Gear, which is the more physical, melee-focused combat style in Missing Link. Sigurd gets into this stance as one of the Darksides punches down on him, and we hear Strelitzia and what I can only presume to be Sigurd's scream, which is bone-chilling kind of a little bit, to be honest, as this bright blue light flashes, with Sora looking very confused as a massive smile creeps up on my face with the reveal of Riku. He has arrived, Keyblade in hand. He is ready to protect Sora. His design is new. It looks awesome. He has a wristband again. His hair's a little bit longer. Riku's here, guys, and surprisingly already, I thought Riku was going to be like a mid-game thing. I mean, this might be a mid-game scene, I don't know. Most of the stuff I feel like they've been showing is very early game, but Riku's here, and I don't think Sora knows him. I'll make a video about that, but I don't think Sora knows him. We'll get into that later. But we then cut to the logo and a black screen, and just before the trailer ends, we get a very mysterious voice saying,
Sora, wake up and see.
I think this is Kairi. I think it only makes sense for this to be Kairi. It's not Strelitzia, and it doesn't sound like the Nameless Star, so this is Kairi, I think. Kairi could be the one that wakes Sora up once he reaches Quadratum after that week passes. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Maybe we'll see Kairi soon in one of these trailers, training with Aqua. And then, ladies and gentlemen, to end off the trailer, you would have seen this in the mini trailer on Friday, but yes, the trailer ends with the reveal that we will be receiving Kingdom Hearts 4 in late 2027. I cannot believe it. I said early 2028, but honestly, over the past few weeks, I've slowly seen the possibility that 2027 could be what's happening, and lo and behold, here it is. And not only do we have late 2027 confirmed as a window, but both Tai Yasui and Tetsuya Nomura, who was a surprise guest at this panel, have both come out with pure confidence saying this isn't an 80% thing, not even a 90% thing, no. This is a 100% thing. They are confident this game will be released in 2027, which is absolutely fantastic confidence after Kingdom Hearts 3 was delayed right at the death, so I cannot wait to play Kingdom Hearts 4 next year, guys. It feels weird being able to say that. But that wraps up today's analysis video of the Kingdom Hearts 4 Coco trailer. The floodgates are open, guys. The marketing has begun. And I'm sure this trailer only barely scratches the surface on what we can expect in Kingdom Hearts 4. But let me know what you guys think. Was the trailer up to your expectations? What are your theories on the present information we have? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye for now, and may your heart be your guiding key.